Welcome to the UK Travel Planning Podcast. Your host is the founder of the UK Travel Planning website, Tracy Collins. In this podcast, Tracy shares destination guides, travel tips, and itinerary ideas, as well as interviews with a variety of guests who share their knowledge and experience of UK travel to help you plan your perfect UK vacation. Join us as we explore the UK from cosmopolitan cities to quaint villages, from historic castles to beautiful islands, and from the picturesque countryside to seaside towns.
Hi, and welcome to episode 32 of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. In this week's episode, I chat with Wendie Hume, who travelled with her husband Daryl from New South Wales, Australia to the UK for 31 days in October 2022. In this episode, Wendie talks about how she planned the trip, the highlights of their itinerary, including places visited during their road trip from Edinburgh to Southampton, her favourite experiences, accommodation options, and tips from her trip. So without further ado, let's hear from Wendie. I'd like to say that I'm really happy that we've got Wendie joining us on the podcast today, because I think you're the first Australian that we did a itinerary consult with that's actually come on the podcast to talk about the trip. So that's going to be really exciting for fellow Aussies to hear. So do you want to introduce yourself? Yeah, would you like to introduce yourself, Wendie, and tell us a little about where you live and, just a bit about your background?
Yep, so I'm Wendie and I live down on the New South Wales south coast in a little town called Burrill Lake.
Yep.
I'm a registered nurse and we've been wanting to go to the UK for a long time, and so my husband Daryl and I, we sat down one day and started jotting where we wanted to go, and that's what happened.
I know, and you joined the group, and then you contacted us, didn't you? Because you had quite a big itinerary plan, because you were joining a cruise at the end of your trip around the UK.
That's correct. So most of our holidays we ever do involve a cruise of some description.
Yep.
So we wanted to add this holiday on. It actually became bigger than what we originally planned. We were just going to have a week in London.
Yep.
But I wanted to go to where my grandparents were from, and it sort of just went from there.
I know, and it ended up being, so how long were you actually in the UK altogether?
31 days.
Wow.
Not long enough.
Oh, really? I know you want to go back. I'm so excited that you want to go back. It's brilliant. And do the North Coast 500, so that's so exciting.
That's definitely on our plan for either 24 or 25.
Yeah. Oh.
I'd like to go back for 12 and spend 12 months there.
Oh, wow. You loved it so much.
Oh, absolutely loved it. I just don't know if I can get a visa for that long.
Okay. Well, you're a nurse, so you never know. I don't know the visa situation, but, I know the UK crying out for nurses, so you never know. So I don't know what the ins and outs are, but, wow. But, but your roots are from, your grandparents on both sides are from the UK. Is that right? From England?
Yeah, both my grandparents. So, yeah, my maternal grandmother was from Cumbria district.
Yep.
And my grandfather, my maternal, both of them.
Yep.
And my grandfather, he was from Northumberland, so Newbiggin by the sea.
Yeah, my part of the world. So that was so exciting when you told me that. I'm sure we're probably related somewhere, So just give us a kind of a brief overview of what you did, because I know when we first started talking to you, because I think you'd kind of priced it up with a travel agent and you were going to do it that way, and then you decided that you'd do it yourself.
I would never have had the courage to do it if it wasn't for you and Doug.
Yeah.
So after our chat with you, we sat down and we revised what we wanted to do and where we wanted to go. So we knew we had to be in Southampton at a certain date.
Yep.
We knew we wanted a week in London, and we knew we wanted to go to Northumberland and the Lakes District and the Jacobite steam train. So we just sort of plotted it out from there.
Yeah, you did a really good job as well, doing it, kind of going up one side of the country and coming back. And I think you got everything in it that you wanted to go to, didn't you? I think you basically got it all.
We absolutely did. We certainly did. We saw everything we wanted to see. People might say it was rushed, but it wasn't rushed. Certainly, if you could have 3 nights in a spot, it would be much better, but we just worked with the time frame that we had and saw as much as we could in case we never got back there again.
Yeah, you did a really good job of it. And actually, I mean, I'm going to ask you because we're busy writing up a kind of 3-4 week itinerary, road trip itinerary. But we're going to look at what you worked out and what we worked out, because it was really good. It was really good. And you went to Scotland, you went to Wales, you went to England, you even went down to Cornwall, didn't you? You went right down there. So
we did.
Fitted everything in, which was really good.
Yeah, it was tight, but it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and we saw everything.
And it was really good following your trip as well, because like I know you had a Facebook page where you were putting lots of pictures on, and it was really cool to see where you were and how you were enjoying it as well.
Yeah, no, that was good.
So obviously some of the destinations that you went to, like you wanted to go to London, and obviously you had to be down in Southampton to pick up the cruise ship. And you obviously, because of your family connections, you wanted to go to the Lake District in Northumberland. And I know you really wanted to do the Jacobite. So what about the other places that you chose to go? How did you kind of choose those?
Your Facebook page, people's comments, Google.
Yeah.
And my Bible was the Rick Steves UK planning book and the Lonely Planet planning book. I just read them from page after page after page for 12 months, highlighting things, researching things, going back to Google, looking at things.
Obviously looking at our website.
Oh, your website, messaging you in the middle of the night.
It was fine. We just wanted to make sure that you were right with, like, you were right with how you were planning it, and that you felt comfortable with everything that you planned. Because I know you were a bit nervous, and I know when we talked about it, you were really nervous about doing the guest houses and the B&Bs, but I think you really enjoyed them.
Oh, absolutely loved them. Like, next time, that's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because we'd never stayed in a B&B or a guest house before, so we were really nervous about that, but they were great. We had a great time. We didn't have a bad one.
So tell us what is, because I'm always telling everybody what's so special about staying in a B&B or a guest house, but you tell everybody, all the listeners, what it was about that you really enjoyed.
It was just like really homely and just really, really personal, the service. Absolutely loved it.
Oh,
it was just small. They weren't crowded, so you didn't have a lot of people. And at breakfast, there might have only been 2 or 3 other couples, and you all got to sort of catch up and talk about what you were doing that day and what you'd done the day before, and you got hints from each other.
Exactly. And the people that own the guest house, the B&B, they'll tell you great places to go or where not to go. And like I say, you meet other people from all over the world who are also doing the same as you. And it's great because, like I say, you get loads of hints and tips from them, don't you?
So the B&Bs are amazing, like just so much more personal than a hotel. Just nice and cozy.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, like we're talking before, like there's only a few you probably staying there. There's people from all over the world that are staying there. And you get that chance to have a chat at breakfast, don't you?
Yeah, you certainly do. And like just like some bushwalks that people told us about. And we were at one at Windermere in the Lakes District. And one couple said to us, we said we were going to Llandonol, is that how you say it, in North Wales?
Yeah, yeah.
And they said, make sure you stop at Chester, have lunch at Chester, go into Chester. And that was the best day. That place, without them telling us, we would never have gone there.
You know, I'm so glad that you went to Chester, because I've got a whole article on Chester, and it doesn't come up very often, but isn't it? It's such a lovely, lovely place to visit.
It was amazing. We absolutely loved it. It was just we were only going to stop for half an hour, and we were there for half a day. It was amazing.
Brilliant. Oh, well, you can definitely put that on your list when you go back again then, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah. Here we go, yeah. So do you want to give us kind of like a brief, kind of over the 31 days? Because obviously, we can't spend an hour talking about it. It'd be great to, but like, could you go through each of the places, kind of order that you went? And then like also the highlights of those different places would be amazing as well.
So we had 6 days in London, which was really good. We weren't organised for London. We didn't organise our time well there. We saw everything we wanted to see. We stayed at the Tower Bridge, down at the Tower Bridge area, which we thought was a great area.
Yeah, it is.
It was so handy. We stayed at the Tower Hotel and had a view of Tower Bridge, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
So we really enjoyed London, but we missed a lot of stuff because we weren't prepared. We weren't prepared for everything not to open till 10 o'clock.
Ah, okay.
But we were not prepared for that. So we were up and out and ready to go at 7 o'clock, and then we'd have to wait. Like,
I was going to say, that's not going to be the case in the UK,
Yeah.
no.
but that's okay. We did everything we wanted to do. We missed Camden Markets and the Soho area, but that's okay. We saw everything else we wanted to see.
Yeah, exactly.
We caught the train to York. We caught the LNER train, and that was such a great experience. Like, if we went back, we'd travel more by train. Like, it was really good. We caught the train to York. Absolutely loved York.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody says to us, what was your favourite part of the UK? And we say everywhere we went was our favourite.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
You can't narrow it down. Everything has something different to offer.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we spent some time in York and the train museum.
Yep.
I just put that on our itinerary for Daryl because I knew that was something that so we did that the first afternoon we got there, so we weren't rushed.
Yeah.
And he loved it. It was heaven. I didn't think he'd ever walk out.
Oh, it's a bit like Doug. Whenever we go to York, he spends half his life in the train museum.
Yeah, Daryl just loved the train. And it was free.
Yeah, free. Yep.
Yep, it was free. It was great.
Yeah.
And the wall, we just loved the wall. We walked the wall.
Yeah.
And York Minster. Oh, we could have spent forever in there.
Did you climb up the top?
No, it was booked out,
Okay.
unfortunately, when we were there. We much preferred that to Westminster Abbey.
Okay.
Simply because we found Westminster Abbey too crowded.
Yeah.
Too many people, you couldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, we were able to say, we've been there, done it. But York Minster was just amazing, and like the underground bit where they'd been doing the renovations and all that history under there, it was really good.
Oh, that's good.
So then we did the shambles, and that. So after there, we headed off we caught the train, got on the train again, and went to Edinburgh. There was track work, so we had to go the long way and go the scenic way, which was really nice. We didn't care.
Yeah.
So that was really good. The trains are amazing. We just couldn't believe how good the train system was.
Yeah, Doug was good to hear that because he used to work on that. So
yeah. Well, it was your suggestion to do the train, and because we couldn't find hotels with car parking, and if they did, it was like $100 a day.
Yeah.
So it was easier out once we left Edinburgh. So we headed up to Edinburgh and had 3 nights in Edinburgh, which was a nice amount of time. Still didn't see it all. I guess the highlight of Edinburgh was climbing Arthur Seat.
You did it?
Again, I was inspired by Doug. I said I didn't think I'd do it, but we did it.
Oh, well, he's going to be so chuffed, but, I think he knows, but I will tell him again that you did it because he just, because we did it. Well, because, we were talking the day that he did it in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I had toothache, so I just went back to the hotel because in fact, I'm having that tooth taken out tomorrow. It's just given me problems ever since. And I just went back to the hotel feeling sorry for myself. And he's like, no, I'm going to climb it. It's a really good day. And he was determined. So he'll be dead chuffed that you did that.
Yeah. Well, Daryl didn't want to do it. He said no. And then we decided right on sunset we were going to do it. Daryl goes, I didn't want to do it on my own. He says, I know how much you want to do it. Let's go do it. So we did it. We walked down in the dark.
Wow. Ooh.
It was great. It was the absolute highlight of Edinburgh.
Oh, brilliant. I'm so, and did you get the good views? Obviously it'll be dark, but
the beautiful views at the top. Absolutely stunning views at the top. Walked through the beautiful old cemetery, found some, old ancestor graves there, so that was really good too.
Oh, cool.
On Daryl's side of the family.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was good. So then, and the Royal Yacht Britannia, that was another highlight. That was a real highlight.
And it's very obviously with the Crown recently kind of highlighted the Royal Yacht Britannia. So I think even more interesting. People are going to see that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you went to see that. And so 3 days. So you did quite a lot though in the 3 days that you were there. So you were busy. So you just walked around Edinburgh. Obviously, it's a walkable city. It's a lot of stairs up and down though, isn't it? Steps.
Yeah. We got the hop on hop off bus, the Royal package. So that got you to the. So we got that, and that was really good. We found those to be quite good. So we got the hop on, hop off bus just about everywhere.
It's a good way to get orientated as well, isn't it? Good way to get orientated with a place to and
find where things are. Some places you didn't need it, but we did. But then we left Edinburgh, and that's where we picked up the hire car.
Yep.
And then we had a bit of drama with the hire car, so we didn't get out of Edinburgh until later, till lunchtime, which we lost half a day. And then we programmed Stirling into it, but there must be a Stirling in England because our nav man was taking us back to England, not up to Inverness.
Oh, right. Oh, dear.
So we lost a lot of time that day.
Right.
So we drove to Inverness via Stirling. So we were hoping to have kind of a good part of the day in Stirling. So we missed the Kelpies.
Oh, okay.
We went to the Wheel.
Wheel, yeah.
That was amazing. That was really good.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Then we headed to Stirling. So we had planned to do the William Wallace Monument and Stirling Castle, but because of the lost time, we had to choose. Yeah. So Braveheart won out.
Okay.
So we climbed the monument, and that was something else.
Oh, that's good. Well, we when we were back last year, I met some friends, and it kind of put us way behind. So we didn't end up. So we went to the castle we Doug's like, we've been to the Wallace Monument before, but he's like, no, we're going there next time again. So
yeah, the next time we will do we drove past the castle and took a photo and had a look, but we were time constrained, so we had to choose one or the other. So we chose that, and that was really good.
Yeah, no, we were in the same boat. Sometimes you have to. It's like things happen and your schedule doesn't go quite as you want it.
Yeah.
So then did you drive straight up to Fort William?
No, we didn't. Then up to Inverness and had 2 nights in Inverness.
Yep.
And that was it for me. I said to Daryl, that's it. Holiday's over. I'm quitting my job. I'm living here. I'm moving here. I love it.
Oh, wow.
Inverness was really did not expect it. It was beautiful. I don't know what it was. I just loved it. We loved it.
Yeah, wow.
And we did the coloured on battlefields, which was that's something else.
Yeah, that museum's excellent at Culloden, isn't it? It's really good. And I don't know if you were there. There were people kind of showing you like the different weapons they used and all sorts of things in the battle. Yeah, really good.
That was really good. That was a highlight. And we went out. I can't remember what it was called. We went out to a fort out.
Fort George.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we went out there. That was really good too. That was a really good morning as well. So then we drove down from Inverness down to Fort William, and we did the Loch Ness. We did a river cruise on the Loch Ness, and in the pouring rain. That was the first day of rain. So that was like the second week, and it was the first rain we got.
So you had good weather when you were there?
We had really good weather.
Yeah.
We were really lucky. So we had really good weather.
Yeah.
So we did the Jacobite train, and that was just something else. We loved that. That was we like steam trains, and we just had a great day. And then so then we had a really big day, and everyone kind of said to us, "Oh, you're crazy," but we did what we wanted to do, and we drove from Fort William to a place called Lowick.
Right. Yes.
And Lowick was just something that I Googled to find somewhere that was close to Holy Island that we could sleep the night.
Right.
And found this hotel. So we were a bit nervous.
Right.
And oh my goodness, this place was amazing. It was the best little pub in the middle of nowhere. Amazing. Oh. Absolute. Food was beautiful. The staff were amazing. Our room was something else, and it was just in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to get all the names of all these places that you stayed at.
Yeah.
Because people want to know, because it sounds like you stayed in some fantastic places.
Yeah. So, no, that place at Lowick was just like, as I said, it was like just picked, that'll do, we'll stay there. It's only a 5-minute drive to Holy Island because we weren't sure what the tides were going to be and if we were going to get over there. Yeah. Because everyone told us it was such a long drive, you're crazy, you'll never get there in time. But it was easy.
You guys are Aussies.
Yeah, I know.
So you know what? Doing a drive, like we drive 9 hours here, and we're like,
I know. Yeah. So we Googled on our way. I didn't even think it was a thing, but I Googled to see our last name being Hume, if there's a Hume Castle anywhere. And of course, there's a whole village, Hume Village, with a Hume Castle.
Oh wow!
So we went just out of Kelso.
Yeah. Oh,
I think that was what it was close.
Yep.
So it was in the border region.
Yep.
So on our way, we detoured and we went and checked out this amazing little castle on a hill, like ruins of this castle. That was a real highlight as well. We loved that.
That's so cool. I love the way that you travel. You're so great. The way you kind of, you do that research and then you're like, I'm going to go here, and then you look something up and go, it's brilliant. It's really cool.
And we had this, we sort of said to ourselves, we can't do everything. We know we want to do a lot. We can't do everything. So we missed the Cotswolds. We did miss the Cots, but we weren't that concerned. I know that like we know that you said that's a really good place to go, and it is somewhere we do want to go another time. But for us, for what we wanted, that was like, yeah, we can't do it all. We will give that one a miss.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, you know, you've been now, you've loved it, and you're going to go back. So next time you can include it. And, you know, you did a lot. You did a lot in the time that you were there. So sometimes you just have to, I'm going back over for 3 months again this year. I was back 3 months, and, you know, I didn't get everywhere I wanted to go.
No.
I didn't get to Oxford last year, and I'm going, that's the first place on the top of my list to go, because I didn't get a chance to go last year. So you just have to go, right, okay, I can't fit it in. Well, what do I, and that's what I say when I do that itinerary thing is like, what is the thing I really, really must do?
Yeah,
and what are the things I'd like to do? And then, you know, you do your must do's, and then if you can fit those like to do's in, then that's great.
And you can't procrastinate, and you can't think, oh, I wished I did that. You just got to make the decision and do it.
Exactly.
So we crammed a lot into Northumberland. We did Holy Island and then Bamberg Castle all in one day.
Yeah.
When I look back now, I don't know how we fit it in, but we did.
But you did, and you were determined to do that. Did you got out to, because I know Hadrian's Wall was something that Darryl was really interested in.
Yeah, so we stayed at Newbiggin by the Sea at that night, and which was a Sunday night, and then because that was where my grandfather was from, so we went and found his house he grew up in and everything.
Oh.
Missed out on a Sunday roast. That's another story. Sunday roast in England are not that easy to come by. So then we left from Newbiggin by the Sea, and then we kind of did the Hadrian's Wall across to get to the other side. So, yeah, that was really good. We really enjoyed that. We need to go back and spend more time there as well.
Yeah.
So then we headed over to Cockermouth, which is sort of not somewhere that people would normally go, but because of family connections, we went there.
Yep.
That was really lovely little place, really beautiful little place, and then headed on down to Lake Windermere.
Yeah, lovely.
So that was amazing, really amazing. Really could have just could have stayed there too. It was just like we felt like for the first, because we weren't on holidays. We were there to see what we could see and just to experience England.
Yeah.
And we got to Lake Windermere, and I thought I was on a summer holiday. We even sat down by the water, had an ice cream, and just soaked up the atmosphere. It was really, really, really nice.
Oh, lovely.
And again, stayed in a really nice guest house there as well.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
So
after the Lake District, where did you head? Obviously, then is that when you went down to Chester?
Yeah, so we kind of went to Llandudno. I think that's how they say it. I can't. Llandudno, something like that. So North Wales.
Oh, okay. I probably won't be able, as I'm English, I probably won't be able to pronounce it properly either. So
North Wales.
Yeah.
Which was amazing because even though it was a week before their Guy Fawkes night, because of their tides and everything, they had their fireworks night that night.
Oh, cool.
So that was amazing. Oh, there must have been tens of thousands of people there all down on the beach. So we couldn't get dinner anywhere that night. So our guest house that we stayed, or boutique hotel, I think they called it there, which was right on the beach. We were just sat and had fish and chips on the beach with everybody else.
Was that Llandudno?
Yeah. London. They don't pronounce it. They don't pronounce it like that.
Llandudno. I can never pronounce it right, but it's Llandudno.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I just say North Wales.
Yeah, that's all right. I know what you mean.
So we had, that was really nice, and the pier that just goes forever, like this really long pier and the beautiful beachfront. And then we went to Conway Castle. We did the hop on hop off bus there, which was really good. So we just parked up. When we got places, we just parked at the hotel, and then we just got buses.
Yep.
And then we went over to Conway, or Conwy, however they pronounce it, and did the castle and did the town walls, and that's a really interesting little place as well.
Yep.
And the castle was amazing.
Oh, that's good. So you saw quite a few castles when you were over there then?
We did. We saw as many as we didn't see them all, missed some that we would have liked to have seen, but like anything, you couldn't see it all. But we saw everything we wanted.
There's so many. I mean, in Northumberland, it's got more than any other county, and I don't even know how many Northumberland's got, but it's a lot. So.
Yeah. So then we headed down to Cardiff.
Yep.
Cardiff, Cardiff was amazing, but we didn't give it the time it needed.
Right.
It was a one-night stop for us. We should have used that night somewhere else, not because we didn't like Cardiff, but we did not give Cardiff the time. Because we stopped at Chester, we didn't get there until 2:00. We rushed to see the castle.
We rushed to do a river, I think it was a river, the boat ride down the river to see the other end of Cardiff, and had dinner, and then we left in the morning. So unfortunately, we didn't give Cardiff the justice it deserved.
Yeah.
So, which is a shame because it looked like a pretty place.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, as you say, sometimes that's sometimes I think, but you stopped off and enjoyed Chester. So,
Yeah. No regrets, but just thinking, if that would be the only thing of our whole itinerary, if I had the exact same option, that I would just change.
Move that out, yeah. So where did you go after Cardiff?
To Bath.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bath. Yeah, that was amazing. Loved everything. Was amazing. Loved Bath. Bath was really good. Loved the Roman baths.
Yeah.
My tip would be if you're there on a Sunday, Monday, don't go there on Sunday.
Yeah, it's busy.
Go there Monday.
Yeah.
Because it was really busy, and we walked past it Monday and there was no lines.
Yeah, and I think, was that the school holidays as well? I think that
it was.
Yeah. So it would have been even busier.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to go when it's a bit quiet. Actually, Doug and I went in end of June, beginning of July, and it wasn't too bad, but we booked and we knew what time we're going in, and because it can get busy, but because it's a great place to wander around.
It's don't go thinking you're only going to be there for an hour. To really enjoy it, you need to take your time and really enjoy it, and we did. We really enjoyed it, and had a champagne by the baths, and
lovely.
Yeah, really did the nice romantic thing and did all the touristy thing. And then we did the Bath Abbey.
Yep.
And climbed up the bell tower. That's something that everyone should do if they go there. The views from that is amazing, and just the story and the history of it.
Yep.
Did a top on hop off bus tour there as well, and went to the outskirts. Didn't get off anywhere, just had a look around, but just So we tossed up from there whether we were going to go and do a day trip to the Cotswolds or if we were going to go down to Stonehenge, but we did neither.
Okay.
We did neither, and we just enjoyed Bath.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wandered round Bath and really enjoyed it. And then we went to Cornwall.
Yeah.
So little old Wendie from Australia thought Cornwall was just a city like everywhere else we went. So lo and behold, she was a bit shocked. We were a bit shocked when we saw how big Cornwall was, and it wasn't a city.
Yep.
And we weren't prepared for that.
Right.
So back to the UK travel planning website and Facebook page, and what do we see in Cornwall? And we got on to, I can't remember their names now.
Manege Tours.
That's it, Manege Tours, and said, can you please fit us in, because we got so much to see and no time to do it.
Yep.
And that tour was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, worth every single cent.
That's brilliant.
And we had the worst weather that day. That was when we got the bad weather. We had the worst wind and rain.
Yeah.
And our guide was amazing, took us everywhere, and it was really good. Had a great day. Went to the oldest pub that was like 600 years old or something for a lunch. Had a Cornish pasty, and went to Land's End, went to all these little places that we would never have known.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm hopefully Doug that owns Manege Tours. He'll listen to the podcast, so he'll appreciate the feedback.
They were amazing. I can't remember what our tour. I had to go through. I can't remember what our tour guide, but he was amazing, absolutely amazing, great tour. And they fitted us in, as I said. Like I think we rang him the day before.
Oh, that's great.
And they fitted us in, so that was really, really good. And like would recommend him to anybody going to Cornwall. And if we were there for longer, I would have done 2 or 3 of his tours because they were amazing.
And you know what the nice thing is as well, that if you do those, it's the same with Cotswolds with Victoria. I almost say to people, it's like, then you can sit back and enjoy it because someone else is doing the driving around those little lanes.
That's right.
They take you to all the places. They know the quickest ways to get there, the best ways to get there. So you can sit back and actually enjoy it, the scenery, rather than having to kind of do the driving at that point. So it's nice sometimes to do that.
So the driver wanted to take us on the narrowest road he could find because he said he wanted to shock us, and I think he did that. Just in St Ives itself was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And we stayed at the castle, which you, on your site, recommend that on your places of staying. We picked it up from your site. So the Tregenna Castle.
Yep.
Oh, fabulous.
Brilliant.
Yep,
Yeah.
it was fabulous. We one of the little barmen was from Brisbane in Australia, so
wow.
we held up with him. But no,
Yeah.
it was an amazing place, like the gardens, walking down to the St. Ives. Yeah, I'd like to go there and just stay there and not leave, just spend some time in the premises.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I mean, it was old. It was a castle. It was old,
Yeah.
but absolutely top notch.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really good.
So then from St. Ives, this was another umming and ahhing place that we were like, will we or won't we? Are we going to go there or are we not going to go there? And that was Salisbury.
Yep.
Because we wanted to fit in Stonehenge because we didn't get there from Bath. So we thought, oh, well, we'll stop. It was kind of like halfway between St. Ives and Southampton. So we stopped at Salisbury, and that was another, oh my gosh, place. Like, we knew nothing about Salisbury. We hadn't really looked it up or anything. We just knew it was close to Stonehenge, and we did Stonehenge in the afternoon, and then we didn't know about this beautiful, because we went to cathedrals were our thing, cathedrals and castles.
Cathedral?
The cathedral was amazing.
Yeah.
We wanted to climb the bell tower there too, but they were booked out that day. So we couldn't climb that one either. But yeah, and then we went to, I can't remember what it was called. There was like a fort outside the town.
Old Sarum?
Yes. And it just, going up to the fort summed up my whole opinion of England. So when I got to England, I always knew that it's got a huge population, much, much bigger population than Australia. It's smaller than Australia. So I had no idea that there'd be so much open space.
Okay.
So I was really surprised at all the open space. And so I kept on saying to Daryl, it's like someone in the olden days, they went and drew a square and go, we'll build a city there. They go and draw another square. And when we went up to Old Sarum and you look down over Salisbury, it exactly pictured what I was thinking. Everything's in a square. And once you walk out of that square, it's just land.
Yeah. It's and a lot of the places are built where the Romans created. There was the Romans that were there, and they built all the Saxons and all that before that. So you know, you go to a lot of places like York or loads of places that you went that there would have been Roman, like Romans were there thousands of years ago, a couple of thousand years ago when they invaded Britain. Yeah, and it's always really interesting. I mean, I love seeing all the Roman ruins everywhere. There's some fantastic.
Well, even in the cathedral at Salisbury, like there's what did they say, 2 rivers or something below? Like there's no rivers in sight, and the cathedral's built over a river, and I'm like, oh yeah, how? And then they give you this stick, and you put the stick down, and it only goes down like a meter, and then you're hitting water. It was
crazy.
It was absolutely amazing. And to see the original page from the
Doomsday Book.
Yep. But that was amazing as well. And we weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
So Salisbury was one of those little hidden bonuses that we weren't expecting.
Oh, that's good.
And then we ended up down at Southampton ready for our cruise.
Yeah. And then you went on your cruise to America, didn't you? Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yes.
And then you flew back from America back to Australia?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So how long were you away altogether?
We were away just short of 8 weeks, 7.5 weeks.
Wow. That's a good trip.
It was a very good trip.
And you're planning your next one?
Yes.
I know.
Yes, we go away in September.
Oh, excellent. So obviously, hopefully going back to the UK maybe next year, the year after. So that'll be really good. And I know you've talked about doing the North Coast 500, which Doug and I did last year, was absolutely amazing.
That's.
So obviously you've talked about, it sounds like all the accommodation that you chose was really good. So that's fantastic. So I think the best way to do it is I'll get the names of the places that you stayed at and where, and then I can list those in the show notes. So anybody's interested in looking up the different places that you stayed. If you had to choose kind of the one, and I know you really liked all the places, but the one that if you had to go and spend a month there, which one would you go to?
I love Tregenna Castle.
Yep.
In St. Ives. And I loved the little guest house we stayed at. Oh, they were all good. The one at Fort William was really good.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot.
No, I did. Well, we can say that.
And the one at Lake Windermere was really good too.
Yeah. Okay.
There's 3.
Yeah, that's 3. Well, all of them sounded really good that you chose.
They were all. There was only one that we wouldn't recommend, and we didn't. And it wasn't the hotel, it wasn't this company, it wasn't the people. It was purely the age of the building.
Okay.
We could hear the person in the next room snoring, and it was just the building. It was nothing else. It was just the age of the building.
Okay.
And you have to expect that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, things that come up in the group. So did you find, because you were driving, did you find that you needed, because we found when we were in places that we needed some cash for parking. So how did you get on? Did you take cash? Did you use card? How did you get on with that?
We actually didn't find that because I was prepared for that. No, we didn't we had a little bit of cash.
Yep.
So we probably I took about $200 out.
Yep.
When we first got there, and we hardly used cash. Card was accepted everywhere, even for parking.
Yeah.
So we have, I've got a CommBank, which I've had for years. Every time I go overseas, I've got a CommBank travel card, which I can just hook up to my account and I can just transfer money. There's no fees.
Yeah.
So if I need to get cash out, I put that in an ATM.
And you're off, yeah.
Or I used my my credit card, which has got no international fees.
Oh, okay, so that's good. So, how did you find the driving, or did Daryl do all the driving?
Daryl did all the driving. I wasn't. Yeah, no, Daryl did all the driving, so I didn't even get in there, not once.
Oh, and how did he find it? Was he okay with that? I know he enjoys driving, so I guess it wasn't.
Yeah, he was fine. Yeah, he was fine with it. Like, it wasn't as bad as what people, like, it was what stories we'd heard. Yes, the roads are narrow. The roads are narrow, but we went from town to town, so we were on the motorway and we were on, like, main roads.
Yeah.
We did find, when we went out looking for Hume Castle and we went out in the hills, the road's very narrow, but it was fine. It was an adventure.
Yeah, okay. So that's good. And so what about things, because obviously you were in the UK in October. So how did you find the weather and packing? What did you just take, kind of layers and stuff? Did you find was it warm, cold? Obviously we used to warmer weather in Australia than generally the UK, but how did you find that?
I'm a cold frog.
Yeah. So
I feel the cold, but it wasn't as cold as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
So we took way too much.
Okay.
We took way too much stuff. So the first week in London, we just had we got those Kathmandu puffer jackets, you know, the down ones, and we had the vest as well. So we just found, while we were in London, we just had the vest and like a lightweight skivvy underneath it, and we were fine for that week.
Yeah.
When we were in Cornwall, it was absolutely damn freezing.
Yeah.
And we were layered up then. And in Scotland, it was a bit cold.
Yeah, well, colder the further north you go, yeah.
But it wasn't unbearably cold.
Yeah.
And I feel the cold. So, no, we took way too much clothes. We took jumpers and scarves, and we did buy a neck warmer thing.
Yeah.
And we did wear that a couple of times, but no, it was fine. We took way too much clothes. So my advice, next time I'm going to halve what I take.
I try to do that every time. You know, I before I went, because I was there, we were there May, June, July, and August, and so I needed some kind of spring things into summer.
Yeah,
and I took very little, and I still took too much. There was still like 3 or 4 outfits I didn't even wear.
Yeah.
So I think it's trying to be like, and especially if you just want to have what you've got and half it, just keep taking it down to like, because you don't need, you know, if you're wearing jeans or leggings or whatever, you don't need a huge amount of.
No, you don't.
Really don't.
And we bought waterproof hiking boots, and they were the best thing. We lived in them.
Yeah.
Because when it does rain, even like we found when we were in London one morning, it rained when we were going to the change of the guards.
Yeah.
And when it rains, it really rains. It doesn't last for long, but it really rains though, and you get really big puddles.
Yes, you do. Yes.
And so we had those hiking boots, waterproof ones, and they were a godsend.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like comfortable, like waterproof shoes.
They were really comfy. Yeah,
are really good. So let's talk about food. So you wanted a Sunday roast. Tell me the story about the Sunday roast, Wendie.
My gosh, so that's all I wanted was a Sunday roast. So we got to London and we couldn't find a pub, but I guess that first Sunday, because we arrived on Friday, I guess that first Sunday we weren't really looking for it.
Yep.
So we did look for a pub that had Sunday roast, but we didn't find one, but that was fine. It wasn't a big deal. So then the second Sunday, I think we were in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
and we couldn't find one.
Oh.
But we had a Yorkshire pudding instead.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So, but then we were in Newbiggin by the Sea, and at this stage, this was our third Sunday, and I was hanging out for a Sunday roast. And we were staying in a pub, and I thought for sure they'd get a Sunday roast. Looked on their website, yep, they do a Sunday roast. Yes, between 12 and 4 only.
Yeah.
Guess what time we got there?
4:00.
5 to 4, and they'd sold out.
Oh, no. Yeah, they don't do them all day, most of the place. You have to...
No.
Often you have to book, actually. I mean...
That's what we found out in Bath. So the next Sunday we were in Bath, and we're walking around Bath to all the little pubs saying, oh, we want a Sunday roast. Have you booked? No. And we get to this one, and this guy must have taken pity on me because I said, I'm an Australian. I've only just got here. How do I know I have to book a week in advance? And he took pity on me and said, come back at 4:00 and I'll get you a Sunday roast.
Oh.
So we did get one.
That's brilliant. You'll have to tell me the name of that place. I'll give him a shout out for doing that.
Yeah, they were really good. He was really lovely. I mean, I was just going, I don't know about these things. I come from Australia.
So the next thing I was going to ask you was anything that surprised you about the UK, but you kind of already said that you were
it was the open space.
Yeah.
And the friendliness of people. People were so friendly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
The people were so friendly. Like even we were on the train going from York to Edinburgh, and there was these two girls sitting behind us, and they had quite strong accents, and they were quite loud, and they were having a girls' weekend away. And then all of a sudden you couldn't help but hear their conversation. And then one of the girls said to him, oh, what do you think of Australians? And the other girl said, they're really loud and obnoxious.
Oh, no.
So I turned around and said, oh, really? And this poor girl was mortified that she wanted to buy me drinks on the train, where I was just like making fun of it, saying, yeah, we can be loud, we can be obnoxious. But it made for such a good talking point and such a really nice friendship from it. Because I turned around and said, really?
In your strong Australian accent. What are you talking about? Yeah.
And she was so mortified, but she couldn't apologise enough. But it made for like a really good friendship for the rest of the train trip, having a really good conversation on why they were going to Edinburgh and what they were doing. And it was just one of those funny moments.
Oh, no, that sounds really good. And it's always nice on trains. I think, more often than not, we end up talking to people on the trains and you find out where they're going and where they've been and what it is. It's always really, it's really relaxing when you're on the train as well.
Yeah, the trains were we were really impressed with the trains.
That's good. That's good. You didn't get caught out with any of the strikes, because obviously there's been strikes since last June.
No, we missed them every time by a day.
Oh, you're lucky.
There was 2 when we were there. And we missed them both by a day.
Oh, that's good.
Because we were a bit worried when we got off at Heathrow whether to catch the train to our hotel or not. And that was around about when the strikes were. So we just emailed the hotel and they organised a transfer for us. So that worked out really well for us.
Oh, that's good. That's good of them. Yeah. So is there anything that you would, if you were going to do the trip again, you would do differently? I know you said you'd probably just miss out Cardiff because you didn't have the time there.
Yeah. No, everything was our trip was perfect. We were lucky. There was nothing to complain about.
That's brilliant.
So, it was really good.
And so I'm going to say thanks so much, Wendie, for coming on the podcast. It was really good. And it was so lovely because obviously we did the itinerary consult with you and followed your trip. So.
Oh, that was amazing. The itinerary consult, that was just talking to you and Doug, and like all those midnight messages when I was messaging you must have been so sick of me.
No, I was fine.
You guys absolutely helped us so much.
And I prefer that you ask me the questions and I can help you. Then you sit and think, oh, what do I do? Because I can probably answer it, or Doug can answer it pretty quickly and solve the problem rather than you thinking about it for a while. So it was absolutely fine. And we were just so happy that you had such a good trip.
Oh, we did. And because I was really overwhelmed, I was getting really overwhelmed with it. Just the more you research, the more you want to see. And that's when we just had to sit back and say, hey, you can't see it all. Be happy with what you do. And then we made a pact because, money, the exchange rate was so bad when we were there.
Yeah.
So we said to each other, we bought the passes, we bought the London pass, we bought the York pass, we bought the Edinburgh pass.
Yeah.
We did the hop-on, hop-off buses, and we kind of just said to each other, what's not included in them, we just won't do. We'll go and look at it, but we don't have to do everything. And we don't feel like we missed anything.
No, I don't think you did. I think you did such a lot. You really did. So I always end the podcast with the same question. What is the one tip, Wendie, that you would give to anyone planning a trip to the UK for the first time?
Don't be overwhelmed. I was especially London, especially going to London, I was so focused on being in the best spot. Like, what's the best spot? Everyone said this was the best spot. Just don't even worry about that, because no matter where you stay, the tube is right there, and the tube is so easy and everything is easy to get to.
We better kind of sign off, but it's really good talking to you. So thanks so much, Wendie, for coming on.
Yeah, no worries. And big shout out to you guys. We couldn't have done it without you guys. You really made our trip it was flawless. We didn't even have any hiccups, and I think it was because of you guys.
Oh, seriously, that's so lovely. Thank you so much for saying that, Wendie. We were both, Doug and I really appreciate that. We really did.
Yeah, no, we appreciate your help, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. Again, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Wendie for coming onto the podcast to share her trip. Details of the places Wendie mentioned, plus the accommodation they stayed at during the trip, can be found in this week's episode show notes at uktravelplanning.com/episode 32. Remember, if you're feeling overwhelmed planning your trip, you can find details of our popular itinerary review service also in the show notes. Lastly, I want to give a huge shout out and thanks for all the amazing podcast reviews we have been receiving. For example, from Robin's Nest in the US, who said, "This is a magnificent resource on many platforms. Tracy has put together an amazing resource package for traveling the UK. I love this podcast. I listen to them multiple times as I drive through my day. Not only are they informative, they are entertaining. We were making our first trip over to England this year, and I feel so prepared. This is going to be so much fun." Thank you so much, Robin. It just was so lovely reading that. And everyone else who's left us a rating and or review, we really, really appreciate it. I will be reading out more in upcoming podcast episodes, so listen out and you may get a shout out just like Robin. Again, thanks for listening, and until next week's episode, happy UK travel planning.